YouTube, what's going on? Welcome to episode 10 of Top of the Morning Show. Beautiful Monday morning, November 28th, 23 degrees outside. And let's get to opening statements. Let's go. Alrighty, so yesterday was yet another good day of NFL football. My Washington Commanders got yet another win, and things are starting to take shape in the AFC at least. The NFC still pretty wide open. I mean, a lot of teams are still in the mix. Okay, but there are teams that are starting to, pretty much like fall out. I mean, the Packers, they're pretty much done. The Bears, they're pretty much done. The Lions, pretty much done. But even with teams that lost yesterday, like Atlanta, they're still in the mix for their division. That's how bad the NFC South is. And we'll get more to that when we get to NFL Rewind. But with that being said, I want to talk about what's in the title. Every team in the NFC East is in the playoffs right now. If the playoffs was to start today, every team in the NFC East would be playing football. The Commanders would be playing the Vikings. That's exactly who I want to see. Actually, that's exactly who I want to see. I want to see the Vikings again. The Eagles would have a first-round bye. I think the Giants would play the Cowboys. Or no, the Giants would probably play they're the 5 seeds. The Giants would probably play the 6 seed rather. So they'll probably play they'll play the Cowboys. And then that'll be all. But every team in the NFC East is in the playoffs right now. I don't think that's how it's gonna hold up at the end. I think the Giants are starting to finally come back to their real selves. But that is very well could be a possibility that we send a whole division to the playoffs. And to think we were the laughing stock of the NFL. Not even just 2 years ago when we won the division at 7-9, but when even last year, people still weren't taking us serious. Okay, so to go from that to now combining for over how many wins did they say? I think it was like 30 or something like that. To go from that to combine for over that many wins, it's crazy. And a lot of that is due to the Eagles winning, obviously, right? A lot of that is due to the Eagles winning, but also a lot of that is due to the Commanders finally finding their stride. Because for the longest of this season, we were holding the division back from actually being, talked about as every team is being positive. Now we're 2 games over 500. We're sitting at 7-5, and we're sitting pretty solid. I like where we sit right now when it comes to how we can possibly make a playoff run. We're 7-5. We got a good chance versus the Giants next 2 games coming up. They are railing. They are really banged up. But I still don't want to overlook them. It's still a division game. You still got to go to New York to play them, and we don't play well in New York that often. So they still got Saquon Barkley, who is one of the best backs in football. Okay, Daniel Jones, he can beat us for whatever reason. Like he beats us. Like he may lose to any other team, but he always beats the Washington Commanders. And I understand we beat them last year, but he's due for a real beating. Like I'm talking like we actually beat them. And I'm not talking it comes down to a last minute not Leonard Williams. Was it Devlin Thomason last year who jumped off sides or whatever and gave Dustin Hopkins a retry. I don't want it to come down to that. I want an actual win. Like, I want a 28-17, 28-20 win over the Giants. And it's gonna be a tough one. Okay, it's gonna be a tough one, and I'm definitely nervous about that game, but I think we can definitely take it. But opening statements is just consisting of talking about the NFC East. I'm sorry. I know if y'all not NFC East fans in here, you're not a Cowboys, Washington Commanders, Eagles, or Giants fan. Sorry, but we got to talk about the best division in football right now, because why would we not? It's every team is literally in the playoff. You got the Cowboys who are rolling right now. They won on Thursday. Even though the Giants are derailing, in my opinion, due to lack of talent and injuries are starting to finally hunt them. Because again, they were winning, in my opinion. They were winning in spite of their roster. It was good coaching and nail biter games. Okay, it was one possession games that they were winning. Okay, they weren't just out there dogging anybody. They were winning close games and all making all the right coaching decisions. But now that you accumulate their lack of talent on their roster with now injuries that they could ill afford to have, they're starting to show their true colors. And that definitely doesn't mean a not. I mean, that definitely doesn't mean nothing, because they very well could have beaten the Cowboys on Thanksgiving, right? They very well could have. But they still aren't as talented as the Commanders on paper. So we definitely have the good chance to beat them. And we got to go out there and take care of our business. We really do. I don't know what the status of Xavier McKinney is. I don't know the status of him. I know he broke his hand or something like that. But yeah, it's gonna be a tough game. But I mean, I'm definitely excited for it. I'm nervous, and I hope my guys can pull it out. And then you go to the Eagles, and we'll talk more about these games when we get to NFL Rewind. But then you got the Eagles taking care of business versus the Packers, practically ending the Packers season as they beat them 40-33. And not only that, they rushed for a career high, or was it a franchise record of 363 yards? I mean, Jalen Hurts had 157 rushing yards on the ground? And I'm just sitting there watching it like, they really can't stop the run. Like, Miles Sanders was Yasha. Like, everybody got in on it. I'm like, wow. But with that being said, let's go ahead and transition into NFL Rewind. Let's go ahead and look at the schedule right quick. And we're going to talk about each and every single game that happened yesterday. And I'm going to give my take on it. What do I think about each and every game from Sunday's action? Let's go ahead and kick it off talking about the games yesterday. It was a pretty good week 12. Honestly, like, week 12 was solid, especially the early window. The late window, you had some dramatic fashion with the Raiders and the Seahawks. It was a pretty good game, pretty good Sunday. So let's go ahead and kick things off. We're talking about the first game, Houston and Miami. Don't let the score fool you. It was 30-15 at half. It was 30-0 at halftime. The final score ended up being 30-15. the Dolphins completely took their foot off the gas, for the whole second half. I'm not even sure if Tua played the second half, but don't let it fool you, man. Dolphins definitely blew them out. Okay, they blew them out. The Texans are just playing for heart right now. Like, they're just playing for pride right now, bro. They're not good. It looks like Kyle Allen got the start yesterday. But the Dolphins, man, they're 8-3. Okay, they're 8-3, and that offense is something serious, bro. And they could be a real threat in that AFC. And I'm not just talking about playoffs. I'm talking about winning the division. I'm talking about possibly getting the first seed. Now, I don't see them dethroning the Chiefs, but they're definitely a game behind them. And I wonder if they play the Chiefs. I don't think so, but I wonder if they play the Chiefs. No, they don't. But they definitely got a big game this weekend versus the 49ers. And then they got a good game. They got a big game versus the Bills. And then the Jets and Patriots. So they definitely have a good chance to possibly compete for that one seed. But also, they have a chance to just get into the playoffs and make some noise. Like, I'll say it again, man. I was wrong on Tua, bro. I was wrong on him. I didn't think he was going to succeed in the NFL just because I thought he was undersized. He had a lot of injuries coming from out of Alabama. And on top of that, he was a left-handed quarterback. And that's just weird. You don't really see that nowadays, if at all, in the NFL. So I didn't think Tua was going to succeed, but he's definitely succeeding right now. And I can't be more happy for the guy, man. I'm definitely happy for Tua, and I definitely hope he keeps it up. Tyreek Hill made a traumatic difference for that offense. Jalen Waddle's a stud. That they also have a pretty good, solid tight end group, led by Mike Gesicki. Let's go ahead and look at the stats. Tua was 22 for 36, 299 yards and a touchdown. They got Jeff Wilson, who's carrying the ball for them, had 13 carries for 39 yards and a touchdown. Tyreek Hill, 6 receptions for 85 yards. So was Jalen Waddle, 5 receptions for 85 yards. So that was a pretty good, solid. It wasn't really an amazing day by them, but it was a solid day, nevertheless. And they didn't really have to do much to beat the Houston Texans. So there you have it. Now, let's go ahead and go over to the next game here. Let's go to the next game as we have the Bengals versus the Titans. Now, this is a game that was pretty interesting because I wanted to see how Tennessee was going to fare against some real competition because, they're 7-3, but as we know, they're in the AFC South, and the AFC South is pretty bad. It's not that good. And they pretty much cruise to an AFC South title every single year with no competition. So I really wanted to see how they were going to look. And they didn't look bad, okay? But here's the one thing about the Titans: they don't have much talent. So when you're able to shut down their best weapon in Derrick Henry, they're going to lose. And Bengals did a really solid job with shutting down Derrick Henry for the most part. If you look at the offensive stats from the Bengals, Joe Burrow, 22 37, 270 yards and a touchdown. Samaje Perine with yet another solid day, stepping in place for Joe Mixon. 17 carries for 58 yards and a touchdown. T. Higgins, 7 receptions for 114 yards. Peyton Hurst, 6 receptions for 57 yards. So it was a solid day from Joe Burrow. And then you look at the Titans, man. Ryan Tannehill, he was solid. He did. This is Ryan Tannehill's numbers right here: 22 for 34, 291. no touchdowns, no interceptions. But this is what I was saying about Derrick Henry in the running game. He really wasn't able to go. Right? They didn't give him get going because he had 17 carries for 38 yards. He averaged 2.2 yards a carry. Okay, so he was really pretty much a non-factor. Now he did have 3 receptions for 79 yards, but for the most part, he was a non-factor. And it's sad that your running back is your leading receiver. The Titans just doesn't have enough, so that's why they're really not a scary threat to me. Like they're well coached. Okay, I don't want to sit here and act like they're not well coached because they are. However, they just don't. To me, they don't look like a team that's going to be able to make a playoff run. But saying that, you don't know what can happen. Any team can make a playoff run at any time. But I'm just not scared of. If I would have to face the Titans, I would not be scared because if Derrick Henry's not going, that offense is not going. Okay, they don't have enough. So that's that. The Bengals, they should be getting Jamar Chase back here shortly, and they're sitting comfortable at a 7-4 record. And then next thing you got Panthers Broncos. You had some drama in this game, as I want to say it was a Broncos D lineman that was yelling at Russell Wilson. As the Broncos now fall to 3-8 on the season. Russell Wilson 19 for 35, 142 yards and a touchdown. Broncos are bad, bro. From coaching, Russell Wilson's not playing bad. And to think that I was banging the table for Russell Wilson, and who knows if he would have been that bad here in Washington. But I was banging the table for Russell Wilson. Okay, I was upset when we didn't get him because I didn't think he was going to be bad. I didn't think he was going to be like this. Now, a lot of that could be due part to Nathaniel Hackett and could be part to just Russell Wilson not as good as we thought. And looking back on it, I'm glad we didn't get him because look how much the Seahawks or the Broncos had to give up for him. And I'm glad we didn't have to do that. I really am, because we are in no position to give up first round picks. We need everything we can get, whether we're 15 or 27. Okay, we're in no position to give up our first round picks unless we trade enough for a quarterback or something. And no, Carson Wentz is not the answer, and no, he wasn't that good with us. But I definitely will only have to give up $28 million opposed to the next 3 first-round picks. So look what Denver has to do, man. Denver is bad, and I don't think they have to. I don't think they should bring back Nathaniel Hackett, bro. Then you go down to Bears-Jets. How about Mike White, bro? As we know, Zach Wilson got benched pretty much for his comments about last week's game, where he just pretty much didn't take up ownership for the loss versus the Patriots, where it was a 3-10 loss, and it was pretty much his fault. How about Mike White, bro? Mike White doing the thing, had himself a day. First, the Bears didn't know who their starter was going to be until 30 minutes before kickoff, whether it was going to be Trevor Siemian or Nathaniel Peterman or Nathan Peterman, rather, because Trevor Siemian, I think he did something with his hand or something like that. So Nathan Peterman was warming up, and as Nathan Peterman was about to take field, Trevor Siemian came back on like, no, I can play. And then they rolled with Trevor Siemian. But it ultimately didn't matter because the Jets trashed them 31-10. Mike White, what a day. 22 for 28. 3 touchdowns for 315 through the air. I think Garrett Wilson had 2 touchdowns for 95 yards on 5 receptions. Elijah Moore had one. Had a touchdown. Mike White, how about him? Continue the ball, young fella. Then you go down to the Falcons versus Commanders game. Commanders take care of business 19-13. This game, it was a wet one. It was a running feast. Both teams was killing it on the ground. Brian Robinson, for his first 100-yard game, he was killing it. And he had a touchdown where he just ran over the dude. Washington is hitting their stride at the right time. And we definitely have a good chance to keep this up. Now, we need more. We need more from the offense. And I understand that it was raining yesterday, but we need more from the offense. Okay? Because as wet and rainy it was at FedExville yesterday, Washington Commanders should have won this game by more than just 6 points. Okay, we had opportunities, especially early in the game. We had a chance to go up 14-3. We spoiled that away. This game shouldn't have been as close as it was. Okay, so we got a lot to still clean up, but it's great to clean up stuff while winning, and I hope we can continue that next week versus the Giants. I hope we come out with a better game plan, continue to run the ball, put up points, and we can continue to win while also getting better and healthier. So I'm praying on that. But then you go to the Falcons, man. Falcons, they were running the crap out of the ball. The Falcons are a tough team, bro. Cordell Patterson, he's so good. I mean, I always knew who Cordell Patterson was, and I knew he was solid. But every time we face this guy, bro, he always torches us. The guy was good, man. He had 3 touchdowns last year, and he was good yesterday. And his stats doesn't say how good he was, but the moments that he picked his spots to actually show up speaks to how good he was. I mean, Atlanta, they had 3 different runners go for over 50 yards or just a tad bit under 50 yards. They were killing us on the ground, man. They really were. And when you go to the last play on 2nd and goal, as a Falcons, if you're a Falcons fan, I know you're livid because it's like, all right, we've been killing them on the ground the whole time, the whole game, and you're going to decide to pass right here? Because I'm going to sit here and tell you, if they run the ball 2 times, I think they probably get in. I think they get in because we weren't able to stop their run the whole day. Now, it's hard to say that because our defensive line started to show up late in that game. I mean, they got 3 different stops. Okay, so they shouldn't even been in that predicament if the offense could have taken care of business. But Scott Turner's putrid play calling, it's hard to say what would have happened, but I think they would have scored. I think they would have scored because we weren't able to really stop them, and they were on the 5. We had a chance to sack them and put them back at the 10, and we missed it. James McWilliams missed it, but Montez Sweat was there. It was overall a solid game. Okay, defense was getting gashed all day, but they stepped up when they needed to. They didn't get 1, not just 2, but 3 stops in a span of 5 minutes to help seal the victory. And on 2nd and goal, Arthur Smith calls in a pass play. Marcus Mariota passes to Cordell Patterson, tipped up in the air by Daron Payne, and Kendall Fuller puts a bow on it as he gets the interception, and Washington moves to 7-5 and moves into the 7th seed currently. And hopefully we can keep it up and we can continue to keep winning because, boy, it feels good to win. Now go to the next game over here. You have the Bucks Browns, a game that went into overtime. I saw the end of this game. And for the Buccaneers, man, it's a tough loss because it's like, all right, you get a win. I think they got to win. Let's see. I think they got to win over Seattle in Germany, and I think they had a bye week. You come off of the bye week not expecting to necessarily win, but you are coming off the bye week feeling good. You're coming off the bye week feeling good, and you come out there and play the Browns, and you put up that kind of performance. Now, they needed enough, or should I say more, from the offense because Brady was 29 for 43, 246, and 2 touchdowns. So he had a solid day, but they were only able to muster 17 points. And when you're only able to score 17 points in an NFL game, you're not really going to win that often. And especially when you got one of the best running backs in football in the backfield on the other team, some say the best, and Nick Chubb, you know you're gonna have to score points. But it's really a letdown if you're a Buccaneers fan because they were 5-5, and I'm sitting there thinking, okay, although that division has been poor this year, they're going to finally separate themselves. Okay, they're going to separate themselves and show why they are the best team in the NFC South. Brady's going to hit his stride, and they're going to become a dangerous team heading into the playoffs, and that very well still could happen. However, it's not going to happen when you're losing games to the Browns, and they got the ball first in overtime, and they weren't able to do anything with it. And the Browns went down. Nicholas Chubb, it was first a good reception by Mark Cooper, and then Nicholas Chubb capped it off with a touchdown. Then you got the next game. Deshaun Watson's coming back for the Browns too. So although the Browns season is pretty much over, I'm still excited to see what Deshaun Watson looks like. Next game, you got Ravens-Jaguars. This was a game where this is the most Ravens game ever. Like, the Ravens were up, I want to say 19-10 in the second half, and they blew it. They blew it. Every single Ravens loss looked exactly the same this year. They blew it. The Jaguars made plays coming back. Trevor Lawrence looked solid down the stretch of the game. And let's see how much he threw for, because again, they were down at first, and he had himself a day. 29 for 37 for 321 and 3 touchdowns for Trevor Lawrence, bro. He had himself a day. Travis Etienne did get hurt in this game, so they weren't really running the ball efficiently. They were passing, as you can clearly see. And the Ravens, Lamar Jackson had 16 carries / attempts for 32 out of 32, 254 for a touchdown and no interceptions. Lamar Jackson had 14 carries for 89 yards. So they need, again, this is another team similar to the Titans that are definitely in the playoff picture, but they're a team that just doesn't have enough around Lamar. Like, if they can just build around Lamar, like instead of just loading him up with a bunch of running backs and tight ends, actually build around this guy. Get him a number 1 receiver. Get him a couple of receivers. Hell, bring in Odell. Like, do something for Lamar. I feel bad for the guy because, again, he's getting a bad rep on Twitter. But the guy is so good. Like, Lamar Jackson is so good. But I'm really yet to see what he can do with actual talented weaponry on his offense. Like, outside of Mark Andrews, who has been a consistent weapon for Lamar Jackson? If you're playing the Ravens, all you got to worry about is Mark Andrews and Lamar Jackson's legs. Everybody else is not a threat. Like, no one else genuinely scares you. And that's the problem. When you have a franchise quarterback on a rookie deal at that, and obviously that's not going to happen anymore. This year he's going to get paid, whether it's franchise tag or long-term deal with the Ravens. It's hard for me to see the Ravens letting them go. But when you have a quarterback like Lamar Jackson on a rookie deal, this was the time to go ahead and get him a number 1 receiver. And I understand they tried with Hollywood Brown and Rashad Bateman, but obviously it didn't work. And Rashad Bateman, he shows flashes, but he can't stay healthy. Okay, they need more around Lamar Jackson in Baltimore, or else he may leave, or y'all are just going to be a first round, second round exit every single year. Y'all are never going to be Super Bowl contenders because it's not enough. It's just not enough. Then you go down to Raiders Seahawks. This was a game. At a point in time, it looked like Seattle was about to run away with this game, but the Raiders fought back. And this was a game. Josh Jacobs combined for 300 yards, 300 scrimmage yards last night. He ran for 229 on 33 carries. Are you kidding me? For 2 touchdowns, and he had 6 receptions for 74 yards. This guy is a dog. And the Raiders didn't pick up his 5th-year option, so he's gone. He's more likely than not gone. And I could only help but think a team like Miami, this is the last piece a team like Miami is missing. If they can get a good running back like Josh Jacobs on their team, they're set. Okay, because they got everything else. They're just missing a consistent running game. Josh Jacobs, 229 on the ground. Are you kidding me? And then not only that, capped off the game with a walk-off 86-yard touchdown. This guy is an animal. Devontae Adams, 7 carries for 7 receptions for 74 yards. Derek Carr, 295, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. Geno Smith, 328, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Seattle played well enough on the offensive end and win the game. Obviously, putting up 34 points. Most of the time, you should win. But their defense, man, couldn't get no stops. Kenneth Walker had 2 touchdowns on the day. Dare we say Seattle's defense is starting to sell them again? Remember earlier in the year they weren't getting a stop, and then they buckled down at some point, and now they're back to selling because Geno Smith isn't the problem. Like, again, he threw for 328 and 2 touchdowns and 1 pick and put up 34 points. Again, if any other team is putting that up, more likely than not, you should be winning these games, and they didn't. So Seattle 6-5, and San Francisco takes sole place of first place in the NFC West. Chargers Cardinals 25-24 win for the Chargers. They get a walk-off victory, and they 6-5, and they keep their wild card hopes alive. Man, the Cardinals stink, bro. Saints 49ers 13-0 victory over the Saints. It was pretty much a low-scoring ball when defense was getting it done. Offense for the 49ers weren't as popping as it should have been. But again, when you're playing a team like the Saints, you don't need to put up much points. But how about that defense, man? How about a fumble, bro? The Samoan guy, he's always making a play. Like, I finally realized, going back to even last year, a fumble or Kongu, I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce his name right, but he's always making a play, bro. Like, always making a play. Like, he's always around the ball, making a play. I really like him. I really do. Jimmy G, 222 for a touchdown. Elijah Mitchell, 7 carries for 35 yards. I think he had an MCL sprain. Brandon Ayuk, 5 receptions, 65 yards. And Jawan Jenkins with the only touchdown on the day for them offensively. And 13-0 is your score. Andy Dalton, 204 for nothing. No touchdowns, no picks. So, Saints, they fall to 4-8. 49ers go to 7-4 and take sole place of first place in the NFC West. All right, next game you got Rams Chiefs. This game was trash from the Rams standpoint, and this is what you already knew. Like, you already knew this was going to be bad. They were starting a guy by the name of Perkins, Bryce Perkins, and he was bad. And I'm not going to shame the guy because it's his first ever NFL start, but he was bad. Okay, he was not good. The Rams are just not good. And I'm sitting here looking at this game. I'm like, all right, this is the peak of the future of the Rams. This is what the Rams are going to look like in like 2 years. They aren't going to be good. 26-10. Patrick Mahomes puts up yet another beautiful game. 27 for 42, 320, a touchdown and an interception. And right now, it's up to him and Jalen Hurts for MVP consideration. I'm giving a nod to Patrick Mahomes, though. Travis Kelce has done another touchdown. Pachero has another touchdown, 22 carries. I think they're going to use him more like a running back, even though I thought he was. So he is a running back. I thought he was a receiver this whole time. So Pachero is a running back. Okay. I thought Pachero was a receiver. They were just using him like a running back. But it turns out he is a running back. And the Chiefs get another 26-13 victory. They're 9-2 on the season. And how about them Chiefs, right? Sunday Night Football, you got Packers, Eagles, like I talked about that game. You definitely had to see this. The Eagles set a franchise record for combining for 363 on the ground, bro. That is ridiculous. And Jalen Hurts had over 100 rushing yards in the first quarter. That's ridiculous. Like, it's one thing to get ran on all day, but that is like stupidly ridiculous of how much they ran on us. Like today or yesterday when I was watching my game, the Commanders game, I'm like, oh my God, the Falcons are killing us on the ground. And none of their rushers had over 100 yards. And I was thinking we were getting killed on the ground. Could you imagine being a Packers fan watching this game yesterday? Like they were gashing them, bro. Miles Sanders put up 31 fantasy points. He had 143 rushing yards, bro. 143 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns on 21 carries. Jalen Hurts, 17 carries for 157 yards. That's crazy, bro. Like, they did not have to pass. Even Kenneth Gainwell got a nice solid carries. 8 carries for 39 yards and a touchdown. Boston Scott 3 for 24. Like they did not have to pass. AJ Brown caught a touchdown. Quez Watkins caught one. Like, this was a crazy performance. Let me look at the time of possession battle, bro. Eagles won that 35-24. Eagles were 8 for 15 for third down efficiency, and they put up 40 points, bro. That rushing attack was something serious. Green Bay's done. Jordan Love did look good, though. Aaron Rodgers, he got hurt, and Jordan Love definitely looked solid. He looked way better, looked more comfortable than last year. He did have a touchdown. I know he wanted to get that pass back, but it definitely was a right decision. I think it was a Christian Watson. I could be wrong, though, but it should have been a touchdown nevertheless. And the Eagles, they go to 10-1 and remain first place in the NFC East and in the NFC playoff picture. So, yeah. All right. That's the end of NFL Slatescape. Let's get to the next segment. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out segment. Let's go ahead and scroll to the top. Get these shout outs ready. Alante, first in the building. What's going on, Alante? My guy, I appreciate you for listening to Top of the Morning Show, hosted by Juan Gotti. Brian Harden says, from 1-4 to 7-5. Crazy. Shout out to BH for being here listening to Top of the Morning Show. He says, Cowboys can get no higher than the 5th seed in the playoffs. So they have nothing to play for in week 18. See, BH, I was looking at it like this, right? I was hoping like we could possibly win out, go 12-5 or 11 or let's just say we lose one game. Hopefully not, that we can find a way to win out. Let's say we're 12-5 or 11-6. And then the Cowboys, they could also find a way to probably lose one, maybe 2, and like they're 11-6 or they're 12-5. Or something like that. Week 18, winner goes to the 5th seed, loser goes to the 7th seed, or something crazy like that. That's what I wish Week 18 was about. But more likely than not, you're right. Week 18 for the Cowboys, they're not going to have anything to play for. Casper Hill, what's going on, Casper Hill? I appreciate you for listening to Top of the Morning Show, hosted by Juan Gotti. He says, "What's good? What's good, Casper Hill? Appreciate you for coming through." Mo Smith. Appreciate you for listening to Top of the Morning Show, hosted by Juan Gotti. Mo Smith says, I was at the game. It was great. It was great. That's what's up, man. I appreciate you for dropping in on us and telling us how the game was. A lot of people said the stadium was electric. It wasn't quite field all the way for what the Commanders fans, but the people that were there, they were making some noise. Redskins 007, he says, morning. What's going on, Redskins 007? I appreciate you for listening to the Top of the Morning Show hosted by one guy. He says, morning to you, Redskins 007. Redskins 007 says, how was the atmosphere, Mo? We'll get to that. Cruising 2-6. New York Giants fan in here. He says, you guys got lucky against the Falcons. Tip ball in the end zone. I appreciate you for listening to Top of the Morning Show, Cruising 2-6. He says, again, you guys got lucky, right? I don't think it was luck. I think we just made a defensive play, okay? The Falcons made a terrible play call. They should have continued to run the ball because we weren't stopping their run. They decided to pass, and we made a defensive play. That wasn't lucky. We made a defensive play to Ron Payne, tipping the pass in the air, and Kendall Fuller, then Johnny on the spot, getting a pick. That's not lucky. That's a defensive play. So I disagree with that. Mo Smith says B-Rob is a beast. Indeed he is. I love Gibby, and I love B-Rob. That 1-2 punch is amazing. Mo Smith says it was live. Okay, Mo Smith. Appreciate you for dropping in that update on us about what the stadium was looking like. And he said it was a packed house. Was it a packed house for just Commanders fans or what, Mo Smith? Let me know. Was it all Commanders fans? Redskins 007 is nice. He says a fight broke out. Who won? Our fans won. Cruising says, nah, our Giants are finally getting healthy. We'll be healthy next game. Okay. Since we're getting 4 starters back, and let me know who those 4 starters are going to be. I wonder if Xavier McKinney's in that mix. Tremelli, hopefully I said that right. Tremelli Washington, appreciate you for listening to Top of the Morning Show. He says, what's up, bro? Enjoy your content. Hey, I appreciate that. T. Washington, thank you so much for the support, and I appreciate you for listening to Top of the Morning Show. Redskins 007 says they're not ready for us. Hey, one game at a time. I'm not overlooking the Giants, man. We got to take it one game at a time. They're definitely a tough opponent, and hopefully we can take them down, though. Alante says, get my guy to 5K. You heard Alante, man. Hit that subscribe button if you're new, man. We're on the road to 5,000 subscribers. We're so close, man. We're like 100 or 200 away. We're sitting at 4.8K. I know we can get there soon, so please hit that subscribe button. Share me out if you are new, and you know any other NFL Commanders fan out there. Donnell Jenkins, appreciate you, Donnell Jenkins, for listening to the Top of the Morning Show. He says the Giants are better than the Falcons. It depends because the Falcons aren't that talented, but if they're able to run the ball like they did, they're able to run that college RPO read option offense like they did to us yesterday rather, they could be dangerous. But I don't know. I think I was because Saquon Barkley's better than anybody on the Falcons. Really, I don't care how good Cordell Patterson is. He's better than anybody on the Falcons. So, I guess so because both rosters aren't that talented. So that's not saying a lot, but I guess so. Redskins 007 says Giants are not making the offs. It's over for them. Timmy D. Appreciate you, Timmy D, for listening to Top of the Morning Show. Timmy D says Commanders over the Giants. I think we're a better team than the Giants, talent-wise. But again, we'll see on Sunday. Hopefully we can get it done. Cruising 26 says Commanders are not better than the Giants. I think we are. Timmy D. Yes, they are for sure. Giants have no wide receivers. Giants have been exposed. Cruising says Falcons had you guys beat in your own home, if not for a tip ball. That's not about cruising, bro. That's not lucky. That's a defensive play. I see if you would have said the refs got involved or anything like that. That's not lucky. They didn't have us beat because they didn't get in the end zone. You could drive down the field, i.e. Super Bowl, whatever Super Bowl that was versus the Seahawks. Patriots Seahawks drove down the field at the 1 yard line. And they decided not to give it to Marshawn Lynch and didn't score. So they didn't win because of them. So you can drive down the field all you want, but if you don't get into the box, that's not a touchdown. That's not poop, okay? That's not they have us beat. They didn't have us beat because they didn't score. We made a defensive play. Deron Payne tipped the ball in the air. Kendall Fuller picked it off. That's not luck. We made a play when it mattered most. Giants look pretty bad to me, he says. Against Dallas. We aren't scared one bit. Yeah, we aren't scared, but it's definitely gonna be a tough game again because it's a division opponent. Cruising says, I'm surprised how bad Commanders look against the Falcons and you guys were healthy. DeAndre Taylor, what's going on, DeAndre Taylor? I appreciate you for listening to the Top of the Morning Show. He says, what's good, Juan? What's good, DeAndre Taylor? What's going on, bro? Solid W yesterday. Yes, sir. Solid W. Still has a lot to work on. Definitely got to get better. Offense need more of them. Defense got to be better stopping the run, but definitely a solid W. I'll take it in any fashion that we can get it. Frankie P. Appreciate you, Frankie P, for listening to the Top of the Morning Show. He says, at cruising. You obviously don't know what you're talking about. We was missing our CB1 and our linebacker one, St. Juice and Holcomb. We weren't healthy. Yep. Redskins 007 says, cruising 2-6. How does it feel knowing your team isn't going to lose 5? It's going to lose 5 in a row and miss the playoffs. Redskins 007 ain't holding back. He talking crazy. I'm gonna stay away from talking crazy to Giants fans, bro. I'm gonna wait until after we win on Sunday. I'm not gonna talk crazy. I feel like that's bad luck, man. I'm gonna stay humble. Cruising says, compared to my Giants, you guys were healthy. LOL. You're talking about 2 starters. We're missing a lot. 11 starters. What I saw yesterday against the Falcons, you guys shouldn't be so confident. 5 L's in a row. Cruising so sad. I watched you guys against the Falcons. You know you guys should have lost that game. We shouldn't have, bro. We made a defensive play at the end of the game. Frankie P says, compared, they're having a little argument back and forth in the comment section. Frankie P says, compared to the Giants, WTF are you talking about? Doesn't matter. The Giants' health is we have injuries, which means we aren't healthy. Cruising says, dude, when did we lose 5 games in a row? You guys are not that good. You comparing 2 starters to 11, you make no sense. Falcons had you beat. Y'all were scared as hell. Let's go ahead and scroll down. we ain't gonna read all of their argument because we're gonna let them have it. We're gonna give everybody else a shine here. The word. Appreciate you, the word. Listening to Top of the Morning Show hosted by Juan Gotti. The word says cruising 2-6. The Giants gonna be hiding real soon. You know it. Okay, so they're starting off early this week. We ain't even enjoying the Falcons W. They're starting the Giants trash talk early. Y'all know I'm gonna be live for the game this Sunday. Cruising 2-6 says a tip ball in the end zone. That's the only reason you guys won. You're not that good. But cruising, that is a defensive stop, bro. We gotta win. Now, I'm not sitting up here saying we're that much better than you guys, but we're talentedly more better than you guys. Our roster is. Y'all are better coached, in my opinion, like Brian Dable. But our defense made a play when it mattered most. Okay? So that's not luck. That's not the only reason we made a play. Alrighty. Egg Beaters. What's going on, Egg Beaters? I appreciate you for listening to Top of the Morning Show hosted by Juan Gotti. He says they didn't give us at our own home troll. We won, genius. D Fresh 94. What's going on, D Fresh 94? I appreciate you for listening to Top of the Morning Show hosted by Juan Gotti. D Fresh says wild card gonna be lit this year. Yes, it will. Yes, it will. Washington Commanders can take care of their business and continue to win each and every week and take it game by game. Wild card is going to be fun, man. I just want to get in, and the next step is if we get in, win one. Man, I would love to get in, bro, because I think we can take anybody in the NFC. But one game at a time. We're still a while away from that. We still got a lot of football left. Urban Bailey, I appreciate you, Urban Bailey, for listening to Top of the Morning Show. Thank you so much for being here, Urban Bailey. He says, B-Rob, he is a beast. Total package. All we got to do is run the ball, give it to him. Yes, he is a beast. And then you would mix in Antonio Gibson, who's also a beast too. We got one of the best 1-2 punches in the NFL. Appreciate you, Urban Bailey. Eric Fortis Jr., I appreciate you, EFJ. I wonder if that's your nickname. EFJ says, if we land a mid to low first round draft pick, what position does Washington draft? EFJ, I appreciate you for listening to Top of the Morning Show. If we were to like 15 or like 20, I say probably cornerback or guard. At this moment, cornerback or offensive lineman, more specifically a guard. I think so. Cornerback or guard if we were to land a mid to late first round pick. Santana Jackson. I appreciate you, Santana Jackson, for listening to Top of the Morning Show, hosted by Juan Gotti. Santana Jackson says, that tip from Payne and Fuller getting the pick had me fired up big time. Man, did it. Yes. Well, first I got hyped, and then I settled down because I wanted to make sure he caught it because it looked like they were tied up. So I didn't want to get too hyped, and then I see Cordell Patterson came out of the pile with the ball because if he came out of the pile with the ball, it's a touchdown because they were in the end zone. So I was hyped at first. Then I had to lower my hypeness down because I'm like, all right, let me see. And then when I saw Kendall Fuller came out of the pile with the ball, I got hyped up again. Great play by D. Payne and K. Fuller, man. Horse 2X. Appreciate you for listening to Top of the Morning Show hosted by Juan Gotti. He says, we got to beat the Giants. FanDuel says we have a better chance to make the playoffs than the Giants right now. And arguably we do because our roster is more talented than the Giants, bro. Awesome Sports, I appreciate you for listening to Top of the Morning Show. Awesome Sports says, what's up, everyone? What's up, Awesome Sports? I appreciate you for being here. BH, Brian Hart says, B-Rob about to run over the Giants' hopes and dreams. Hopefully so. Hopefully so. Alante, put some respect. Horse, too. Hey, I ain't going to say put no respect on us just yet because we ain't earned no type of respect. We got to continue to go out there and keep winning. If we want our respect. Not yet. Horse says, Juan funny. Hey, man. Alante says, put respect on our name. Hashtag take command. Santana Jackson says, it's funny how these Giants fans trying to put us down. Y'all better respect every NFC East team, especially this season. Remember, the Eagles fans thought the same exact thing. Jay Bird the Great. I appreciate you for listening to Top of the Morning Show hosted by Juan Gotti. Jay Bird the Great. He says, a win is a win. I don't care how we got it. Keep up the good work. Exactly, Jay Bird the Great. I would love dominant wins week in and week out. I would love 30-point explosions week in and week out. But knowing that that's not our team, we're going to win games like how we won yesterday, 19-13. And I'm fine with that. As long as we get the win at the end of the day, I don't care what the scoreboard says. As long as the Commanders have more points than their opponent at the end, I'm happy. Horse XX, or 2X rather, says, Juan, are you in high school or you graduated? Nah, I'm not in high school, bro. I graduated. Been graduated. MH says, or appreciate you, MH, for being here. Thank you so much. He says, it's ridiculous with Chase Young at this point. He finally gets to where he can start, but then has an illness. Keep him out. Do you think it's something more to this, or is it really him being sick? See, at first, I was thinking like, nah, he's not really sick. They're just holding him out an extra week because because of his knee. But then again, I'm like, it's not nothing to hide. It's nothing shameful to hide. I mean, we know he's all working back from a knee injury, so if it was still bothering him and he wasn't ready yet, they'll just say that. So then after hearing that he had the flu or some flu symptoms, I really think he was sick. I really do. I'm not going to say a lot. Because you know how bad he wants to play, bro. You can hear it. He wants to play bad. So if he wasn't sick, he would have played. I think so. I think he was genuinely sick. And hopefully he can get healthy. BH says, just wish we could use our receivers more. Think we're leaving a lot out there. Exactly. I would if our offense could just click a little bit more, man, and get our wide receivers more involved, we would be good. MA says, yeah, bro, we leave so many yards out there every week. If Terry McLaurin was on a roster with an average to above average quarterback play, he would easily have at least 25% more yards per year. Exactly. I agree. He would have more yards. He would have more touchdowns. I mean, he was wide open for a touchdown. Taylor Heineke just missed him yesterday. Skins fan all day. It's been a while, Skins fan all day. I appreciate you for stopping by listening to Top of the Morning Show. He says, what's up, bro? What's going on, Skins fan all day? Shout out to the OG stopping by, man. I appreciate you for being here. And MH says, I'm late to the show, bro. I'm late to the show today, bro, but appreciate your hard work. or your work rather. I don't know if you hit on it, but what do you think about Sean Taylor mannequin debacle? It seems a lot like us wanted more. Yeah, I talked a little bit about it. I want to say in my stream yesterday at the beginning of the game day stream, I put out a community post. It was trash, and when I first saw it, I thought the whole week I thought they said it was gonna be a statue. Turns out they didn't say that, but when I first saw it, I'm like, this is trash. Like this isn't no statue. This isn't nothing that replicates Sean Taylor. When I first saw it yesterday, but I didn't want to. I was in live stream the Commanders had before, and I just didn't want to say that at the moment in the comment section live because I'm like I don't know. I'm gonna keep my thoughts to myself until later. But then once I started to see the uproar from a lot of other fans, I'm like, I agree. This is exactly what I was saying. This is exactly what I was saying. Like, it's not a statue. It's not nothing that can. If it's not going to be a statue, it's not nothing that is going to make me at FedEx feel like, oh, I got to go see Sean Taylor's memorial thing. It's not nothing that gets me that excited. It's literally just his jersey, helmet, his uniform on a dummy, on a mannequin or whatever that you would see, like they said, outside of the team store when you go to FedEx Field or outside of Dick's Sporting Goods. That was trash. It was nothing that was exciting about that. I mean, I'm thinking, well, first I'm thinking there's going to be a statue. And then secondly, I'm thinking, okay, if it's not going to be a statue, it got to be at least something that has him in it. It doesn't even have nothing to do with him inside of it. It's like, it's bad. We did a terrible job with that. That was not good. And he deserves better. Definitely does. I'm hoping when we get a new stadium, if we do, we can build him a nice stadium, a nice statue with a picture of him diving into the end zone versus the Eagles. That patented play where he scooped it up and he dove into the end zone versus the Eagles. That's the perfect play to memorialize him and give him a statue. But yeah, man, it was bad. I didn't like it. Skins fan all day. I appreciate you. Shout out to Skins fan all day. He says, keep grinding, homie. Thank you so much for the super chat. And you already know, Washington Commanders, baby. We're doing good. Hopefully we can keep it up each and every week. Take it one by one. And hopefully we can keep stacking those W's. Make sure you guys go check out Skins Fan All Day's channel if you haven't already. Shout out to the OG stopping by. Thank you so much, Skins Fan All Day. Santana Jackson says, yeah, I think our offense really needs to step it up with the passing game because it's going to be hard into the playoffs if we don't step it up. The run game is fine, but we need good passing. I agree. We're not going to be able to beat teams like San Francisco or like Minnesota or just anybody in the NFC with only putting up 19 points. We need more from the offense, okay? We need more from everybody on the offensive side of the ball. Even the run game was good, but we need more points, especially we need more red zone opportunities, better play calling the red zone. Scott Turner has to be better. He's trash. I'm done with him, but he has to be better because there's nothing we can do with him. We can't get rid of him now, so he has to be better. I mean, you got to draw better plays in the red zone. You got to stop. I mean, he is what he is. Second down, he's running the ball. It doesn't matter what the down is. He's going to run the ball, okay? And that's annoying because I sit there and call it out each and every week. Switch it up. I don't know if he thinks it's a crime to pass the ball on second down, on back-to-back passing plays. I don't know if he thinks it's a crime, but it's not. He needs to be better. He's trash. But yeah, I definitely agree with you, bro. MH says, and this is the last comment MH is taking us out with. MH says, good luck to Saquon trying to run next week, especially if Chase Young is back. We already know their passing game is not as well. MH, I'm scared of Saquon Barkley, especially what Cordell Patterson was able to do to us yesterday. Saquon Barkley scares me, okay? That he scares me. I ain't gonna say good luck to him because I hope he doesn't perform well. And I know you weren't using it in that way. I know you were saying good luck, like good luck trying to do that. That's not how. I know that's what you were saying, but I'm scared of him, bro. I'm scared of him. Last comment here, Sean Welling. I think this is my guy from over there. Over there. I want to say it is Ireland. I want to say it's Ireland. Hopefully, I'm not wrong. Remind me, Sean, if I am. He says, "What's up, Juan? Good to see you, mate. Washington 3 in a row. We are getting better. Yes, we are. We're getting better each and every week, and hopefully we can keep it up and take it one by one. We beat the Falcons. Next up is the New York Giants in New York. It's going to be a tough game. Okay, so it is Ireland. I got it right. Alrighty. Tough game in New Jersey, in New York. We're at the Giants Stadium. It's going to be a tough one, man. They're fighting for their playoffs lives. We're fighting for our playoffs lives. Shoot, this should be Sunday Night Football, man, honestly. Or prime time, 4:15 kickoff, to be honest. But we are definitely in for a good game on Sunday. But we're going to continue to enjoy this Commanders victory over the Falcons first. And then we're going to turn the page to the Giants because it's going to be a big game. But we're now at the end of the show. Last thing, Brian Harden's going to take us out. He says, Giants going to throw the kitchen sink at us. Every run Danny has few times. They're clinging to playoff hopes too. Exactly. They're coming with everything. Okay, they're trying their hardest, and as they should, because they're fighting for their playoff lives, exactly like us. So it's going to be a battle. But I appreciate y'all for listening to Top of the Morning Show, hosted by Juan Gotti. I appreciate y'all, man. Episode 10, already at episode 10. Ooh, it feels good. And yet another Commanders victory Monday, man. Celebrate, everybody. But I'm going to go ahead and check out and let you enjoy the rest of your morning into the noon and into the rest of the day. Appreciate y'all so much for the support. I love each and every one of you. And now, Juan Gotti checking out. Like, comment, subscribe. Hail to the Washington Commanders. We're on the road to 5,000 subscribers, so please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I'm out. Hey.